When it comes to joining an email list, the sign up is the easier part. Once you've gotten someone to sign up, how do you nurture them over the long term? So this is for weeks and months or even years to come. Well, this is what I'm going to explore because it can be quite challenging. Keeping consistent with that is something that I've personally struggled with, but I've worked out a basic strategy that you can use to get started with, and you can then expand on that over time. Hey, my name is Marlon and welcome back to another episode of Future Steps Creative. I talk about strategies on here to help you build and grow your brand or business around your knowledge and expertise, especially to do with your website and your online content. So the first thing that I want to talk about with the email marketing strategy of long-term nurturing, the purpose of it is to really get people to think about you ongoing. Some people, or most people, in fact, are not actually ready to take that next step. They're not ready to take action yet in terms of doing business with you or taking whatever action you wish for them to take. So you have to have a way to make sure you're communicating with them ongoing so that when they change, when things change for them and they're ready to make a decision about what to do next and who to do it with, they think of you first, right? So the process normally is when someone signs up for your email list, you give them an incentive to do so typically. So this could be a lead magnet. Maybe you give them a free download of some sort, or you give them something in exchange for them signing up. They then end up on your email list, and you need to obviously promise them to provide updates information wise and continue to provide value. The challenge is how do you do it long term? So normally for the first few days or even weeks, you might have an automated sequence that you send them through, which is essentially your welcome sequence. This is going to allow them to get to know your brand, know a bit more about you and your business, and also eventually make an offer to them to work with you, buy your product, or take whatever the next step is. Now, again, like I said, most people will not necessarily be ready at that point. So they still would be on your list and you still need to keep in touch with them. So most people don't know what to say or how often to send an email out to them or how to even go about doing that on a long-term basis. So what I find is that if you do these 4 things that I'm going to share with you, you will be on the right track and you'll be able to find it a lot more easy to do it that way, right? So the first thing you got to think about is what you're going to communicate with them. What are your communications going to look like? So a lot of people, they send out content. If they're doing regular content, then they have an opportunity to send out content updates to say, hey, here's a new video, here's a new podcast episode, here's a new blog post that I've written. Go ahead and check it out. It's about this and it's valuable to you. That's one strategy. But it needs to be a combination of things, in my opinion, such as your thoughts, your opinions, and your insights. So you could be reacting to something that's happening inside your industry or inside the community that you're in or anything like that. If it could be about a product that you use in common with your subscribers, anything that you feel that is going to be of interest to them, you can share. And it's about building relationships as if you had a friend, because essentially they're your friends and you want to communicate as such and look out for their best interests. So if you decide on what to communicate, then that's the first step, right? The next thing you need to think about is the communication frequency. You have people that do daily emails. You have people that do weekly. That's the typical. And then you have people that might do monthly or even bi-weekly, so every other week. The frequency needs to be something that you can keep up with. So don't overpromise and underdeliver. It's always better to underpromise and overdeliver, but really you need to be consistent. So I recommend that you start by saying, hey, I send out a monthly email update. That allows you to have a ton of time to actually put together something. It doesn't need to be a massive email. It could be just a couple of paragraphs. As long as the value is there and people are actually hearing from you, they're seeing you in their inbox, that's a commitment I think anyone can make. Ideally though, you want to do things on a more regular schedule, so weekly would be even better, but it is a bit difficult if you're doing a lot of different things to keep up with monthly emailing. So if you say you're going to send out, say, a monthly newsletter, style email, then you can actually stick with that. And if there's something else in between that time, you can always send them the odd email to say, hey, this has happened. I'm sending you this email to let you know, whether it is I got a new content piece or something else that they might find interesting. So decide on your frequency, and it needs to be something that you can be consistent with. The next thing you need to do is to stay informed. So you need to keep your ears to the ground, keep your eyes peeled, and know what's happening in your industry and in your community, in the groups that you're in. Pay attention to emails you're getting from other newsletters you subscribe to that relates to the topic, and just keep some notes on what you could be sharing with your subscribers. So this way you'll never run out of content, because it's always an ongoing thing where you're consuming and you're giving your take on things, you're giving your opinion, you're reacting to things, and so on. So stay informed and know what's happening so you can share more with your audience and be more valuable. The fourth thing that I would like you to do is to have an open call to action. And by that, what I mean is, in every single email, what you want to do is have that soft call to action to give people options to take the next step, right? So you might have 4 things or 3 things or just one thing that you offer that they haven't taken you up on yet. Leave that in the footer of the email or the closing of the email to say, hey, by the way, if you'd like to take this next step, or if you'd like to solve this particular problem, here are some ways that I can help you do so. And just leave them the links. This is how you do it when you're not actually promoting a specific thing, but you're just adding that as another way to add value. But the majority of your email needs to be about giving them that free value. But if they want to take it another step further, they know how to do so. So always have that door open. Obviously, at some point, you're going to have some kind of promotion that you want to do. You have the opportunity to do that at any point in between your newsletters going out and so on. So that is the 4-step strategy that I would say that you need to start with. I'm going to recap by saying, figure out what to communicate. 2, you need to figure out what the communication frequency will be like. You need to then stay informed, which is 3, so you can know exactly what to say and not run out of content or run out of things to share with them. And then the 4th thing is to have an open call to action in every single email that tells them what opportunities there are to work with you and take things to that next level. That's all I've got for you in this one. If you find it interesting, leave me a comment and let me know, or reach out to me via my website over on marlonmcpherson.com, and check out one of my other pieces of content in the meantime. I'll speak to you soon. Have a great day.